Hello and welcome to the R1 Coaching Podcast, episode number 29. This episode, it's obviously myself and Mel. We were just going to cover, we've titled it Happiness and Reflection. So a little bit more of a personal one, a little bit more of a chit-chat, and hopefully people do take something away from this and a little bit of resonation as well for people.
Yeah, hi. She's brought me back. We've just a little bit of backstory, just because I sometimes like to waffle. Is we're trying to desperately find a place in the house that allows us to record this fucking podcast without it sounding like we're in a space tin. So we're currently lay on bed, not in it, but we currently lay on it with a little book, just propping up the microphone. And looking like we're both ready for a therapy session.
Yeah, this is the finest podcast you'll ever listen to. If no one understood what Mel said, then we are laying on the bed, not lay on the bed. But I think it's easy for us in this sense because we've had pillow talk for quite a long time. We seem to talk about the best topics when nobody's listening, nobody's recording, and it's just us.
Yeah, it gets really irritating because without feeling like you're always on all of the time, you finish a conversation, God, that'd have been a fucking good podcast, wouldn't it?
And people seem to be more interested in our personal lives, especially since becoming two lesbians. I think a lot of people were more interested in that. That was the highest ranked episode anyway, and it's not to say with nothing else coming out the woodwork sexually or
news to me. I don't know what else the fuck you're planning now.
No, nothing else is coming out, but for me, I want to cover obviously our relationship, and I think I know we're associated with being in that honeymoon period, and I don't think anyone gets the fact that we were looking for, I wouldn't say we were looking for relationships, but obviously I was on dating apps, I was losing hope, I'd go through serial dating to giving up completely, and then obviously finding you, or you're literally being right in front of me. Like you've said it's everything I wanted, and we just didn't realise it.
Yeah, it was interesting because we'd had so many conversations, previously, before actually getting together around what kind of person we were looking for. And obviously they were naturally men. But yeah, they're just having, I think it kind of came from a conversation that we've been having over the course of the week, really, just because I think we're naturally reflecting upon that we've been together for a little bit longer than certainly what I'd had in any sort of dating sense. I think the longest that I'd ever been with someone was probably about 3 weeks, outside of obviously a major relationship way back when. So yeah, this is probably the longest that I've had it for a while. So you naturally do start reflecting and start thinking about, how it came to be and, why things click. Because for me, it does click. We're naturally a really good team.
Yeah, it felt like it happened overnight, but it didn't. It's obviously from the last podcast, it was building over months and months, but just that, it was in the space of a week, everything moved from a friendship to a relationship, and it obviously, the outside looking at it, looked like it moved 100 miles an hour from not being together to being together, and then me just moving in or never leaving and then just bringing my stuff over. Because naturally, I would never move in with someone, not even before going into a relationship, but it slotted in effortlessly.
Yeah, I mean, you've not left, so you did promise me that. So.
I'm still here. I'm taking over now because I've been doing some DIY today.
Yeah, I mean, the fucking power tools came out in two women in a house. Never having used anything overly, DIY. I certainly haven't anyway. I've been quite lucky that my dad gets stuck in with quite a lot of stuff when I was renovating the house last year. But yeah, the idea of using a drill just completely frightens me. So
I don't mind using tools.
No, you said that, but trying to watch you fucking cut a piece of wood before was ridiculous.
I still did it.
But yeah, I think it's just kind of led us to reflect a little bit more around, I suppose, certain qualities that you have that I don't feel like I have, or certain qualities that I gravitate towards. And I guess it's the same in any sort of relationship sense, whether it's work friends or whether it's friends in general, or obviously key family members. It's just nice, I think, it's just highlighting certain points that why you gravitate towards certain people.
Yeah, and I believe someone should always complement your life. I think a lot of people hold back, despite whatever might make them happy, they hold back from what people might think or what people might say, and they probably don't go for what they want, like really go for it. And I think obviously us coming out as together, obviously two women dating, being, if you label it, lesbians, was probably a shock to people. Being told I was confused, or it's just a phase and it'll pass, or I want to experiment, and absolutely not. Like, I don't just make a decision and think, yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'd always know. I have gut feelings, and it just felt right for me.
Yeah, I think I certainly do anyway. Like, I certainly have to still pinch myself and think I'm with a woman. It certainly wasn't on. I don't know about you, but I try and set myself, like, not targets as such, but like, for example, now I'm in a reflection phase of like the year where I'm thinking this time next year, where would I like to be? And this time last year certainly wasn't living with a woman and having jacked in a full-time job. So yeah, I think it just goes to show that you just don't know what's on the horizon.
No, sorry. I'm just watching Mel play with her belly.
With my belly?
Yeah. No, but I would like to point out that we did 2 manifestation boards before we even got together. We sat up till 1:30, 2 in the morning doing them, and everything obviously that was on mine and the vast majority of what was on yours has actually come true. So it does go to show obviously what you focus on, you do achieve, and obviously we honed in on what we actually wanted, and I don't know, for me obviously I got that and more.
Yeah, I'd had 6 years single, so I think I'd got to a point where it's interesting because I think the first 2 years, and then obviously take away the lockdown years because obviously we lost time. I felt like I needed to work on myself quite a bit. I'd been in a long-term relationship for 9 years and well over a lot of my kind of what I would call like a growth period, like from my 20s through to my late 20s. I felt like I needed to really kind of find who I was and what I wanted rather than being a part of a duo. I think based on what we've talked about before, I think you were the same, weren't you?
Yeah, it was pretty similar. Obviously, a 9-year relationship and then being single for 4. You were single a little bit longer, but we've been in like similar situations, and I think we've both got the best version of each other. Like, we've worked on ourselves and showed up better and the best we can do in a relationship. Not to say we're perfect, but we balance each other out. We communicate, which is absolutely huge. Obviously, the trust's there, the loyalty's there, and the love's there. Like, for me, it ticks a lot of boxes if I was looking for something. Obviously, the only thing it didn't tick is you being a man, but like I've always said, you can fall in love with a person. And it's not to say that I'll just go with a spoon or a fork with all this bollocks at the minute, but I fell in love with the person. Is it non-binary?
What are you going on about a spoon and a fork for?
Because when I say that to people, like, oh, you're pansexual or whatever, it's not. I fell for you.
Yeah.
But it's that non-binary, isn't it, where people don't identify as anything. Like, I don't identify as a lesbian, I'm just with a woman.
All right. I've never heard that analogy before.
No, well, I've just made it up.
That'd be why.
No, but I am, like, genuinely the happiest I've ever been, and it's not to say that, obviously, you're putting your happiness, like, the key to your happiness in someone else's pocket. I'm not saying you need someone, but you complement my life massively, and you make me so happy.
It's really funny because, like, I know exactly what we must sound like, and it's exactly the kind of gushy, like, overly romantic sentiment that I would have absolutely fucking hated when I was single. Like, get off my screen, get away. I don't want to see your nice love life, like, because and it's hard, isn't it? Because I certainly found I enjoyed being single. I didn't enjoy the dating aspect of it. I found it absolutely tedious and just an absolute nuisance. But I enjoyed, I suppose, having things that were my own and knowing exactly what I wanted, and I suppose going and doing whatever I needed to when I wanted to. But I think it's just been interesting these past 4 months. Like, it just makes life just so much easier and so much nicer when you've got someone else there to kind of share memories and stuff with, like taking you on dates to like go and see a fucking Halloween circus, for example, and go and play in the arcades. Like, I think that's one of the things that like drew me to you, was that you have this like ability to release my inner child. Like, I wonder sometimes, like, I've always been like, I think everyone has one. I've always been like the mum of the group. And I think, and I've always been being an older sibling as well. I've always kind of had to put on that like older lady kind of head. So it's nice when obviously when I got closer with you, like we were knobbing around, like swinging around on like tree swings and just running around like the place, like we were just big kids. I think that's one of the things that drew me to you, which is nice.
Yeah, I think we just gel really well. Obviously, happiness is different to everyone, but for me, even growing up, I always just wanted that one person, and I don't see myself with anyone else outside of you now. So obviously, for me, it's forever, and I know that sounds like a long time, and people listening will probably think give it 6 months or whatever. But when something just feels absolutely spot on and genuine, like that's it.
Yeah, it's just it's. I wouldn't say it's chill because we're two quite highly driven people.
Yeah, there's like hints of perfectionism and ambition and frustration and anxiety, and obviously my little sad brain, which hasn't come out
I've
since
not
meeting
seen.
you.
No, I think there was a couple of days when we were obviously like really close pals, where like you just literally existential crisis Barbie, just lay on the floor, not speaking to me, and there'd
No,
be points where you just disappear altogether. But I've not witnessed that. But I think there's obviously a lot of studies in terms of the amount of like human touch and how that can kind of have so much more of a positive effect on.
well, a study over 75 years, they said the key to happiness is connection. And I mean, I didn't read that and think, do you know what, that's what I want, that's what I've always wanted. And then obviously it does make sense as well. Because people do add to your life. Like you can chase money, which is infinite, it's a number. You can chase, I don't know, like a successful job or nice cars, but they're all materialistic and they're all gonna, well, they'll never end, will they? But I just think being with the right person, or my lobster, I just feel genuinely happy. You could take everything away tomorrow and obviously you'd still be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm gone. No, I don't know. It's interesting because I think I got to a certain point when it came to like being single and dating where I'd kind of not had enough, but I'd just kind of gone right. I'm happy. I think I just settled for the idea that I was going to be like a Miss Havisham.
Oh.
I was going to be on my own. It was all good. I think you forever kind of like give me the sad eyes when I say that. I used to have like my little TV dinners, like my meals for one, like sat in front of the telly.
I just imagine that and it just looks. I know people do it, and I'm not saying you're sad if you're on your own. You don't need to be with anyone, but I don't know. I just think because of what we got now, like we always have our dinners together, lunches obviously when you're working from home, and that's just like our time, our non-negotiable quality time.
You kind of just learn to live with what you've got, though, don't you? And I think
I just imagine you sat there, little TV dinner, watching telly.
Hey, listen, I could watch what I wanted. No, I think it's you kind of just live with what you've got, don't you? Like you've got. I try and live quite an optimistic lifestyle, and I was happy in my own company. But I think because of that, I bring myself to the relationship rather than having to rely on you. And
I'd never say I'll rely on anyone. Like I was fine in my own company. I loved my own company and doing what I wanted, but I just wanted someone to make memories with. Like for me, and I know people go on holiday, but I don't want to go on holiday and make a memory on my own. I want to laugh with someone with me, because I don't know, it's just never be the same, and it's never appealed to me. So going on holiday and just lolling away on my own just wasn't for me. And I'm not saying I've just got with you to have a holiday.
Shit, that's what it is. I'm on to you.
But no, it just feels so easy. I've never felt as happy, and you're just like the best person, and you are so kind.
Oh, aren't you nice?
So yeah, it just feels easy and effortless, like you slotted into my life.
Yeah, it works both ways though. Like it's not felt. I think not at any points has it felt difficult, and I think that's when.
No, I hated dating. I thought it was tedious. Everyone was so accessible and disposable. People would let you down, or it just didn't materialise. And for me, time's an investment, so I didn't want to waste time on the wrong people. And at the same time, I didn't want to spend months with someone that might not be for me.
I think though when it's right.
Yeah.
Like I'd been on numerous dates or enough dates to kind of because I'd pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. Like, and I think you'd either try and find. I just found like I was trying to find fault in people, and just because I think I knew deep down that they weren't my person. I think I don't find a fault in you. I think that a lot of that kind of lends itself to us being pals first, like.
Yeah, with like for me, building a relationship, like the first foundation is friendship. and obviously we got quite close. Well, we started as more business associates first, then into friendships, because I'll never not be friends with clients. I am quite personable in that respect, but we built the foundation of friendship, and then the relationship just felt so easy, and it's just crazy. Within a week, it was them little signs building up, everything was building up, and then it just erupted. And obviously at the time, I'd say you were dating more heavily than me. Like, you were more emotionally invested than what I was. And I think in some sense I was probably settling at that time, not actually wanting to be with that person, but I thought because they were so persistent, it might have been the person for me. But
Yeah, well, you'd been to see like a tarot card reader, hadn't you? And
yeah,
they'd
well,
given you
like
like a bit of
psychic.
they'd given you a bit of an inclination as to like what you should have been looking for.
Yeah, they kept saying they instead of him. They said they were right in front of you twice, and
We were
obviously they
laughing the other day
were.
because we were like, because both of us for like about 6 months going, who the fuck is this person? Where are they? Like, why have they not turned up yet?
I know. I was just looking in all the wrong places. I just didn't think it'd be a woman, but obviously they should have been a sign because normally it would have been him or her.
Yeah, but you don't look into that kind of stuff. Like, if you've been straight all of your life, why would you be looking she? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she got mine completely wrong. We both went to the same person, and apparently I was supposed to be meeting someone in. Well, she got a lot of things right in some senses, but a lot of things wrong in others. Like, I was supposed to meet a man allegedly. So I went to see her in March, and she said from 4 months from now, which then made it July. You'll meet someone, and you'll have to, I suppose, work around a bit of a tricky situation. They'll have a child, and you'll have to get that round your head. And I was like, right, okay. So I think naturally
I've got Simba.
close. I don't know. It depends on what you think with those things. Take what you want from what you want to hear. Or I just found it interesting that we did get together in July, and although you obviously you A weren't a man and B didn't have a child, like I think she must have seen something that may have been problematic.
Right.
So not in the sense that it's just not conforming with societal norms, is it? Like I've always been straight, so for me
Yeah,
to
we're
then
just
choose a
told that we
woman,
should be with XY because that's what society wants. And I think, I don't know, obviously it was weird when we did come out because I think a lot of people are like, oh, how can you go from being straight to then being that?
listen, like I think we both thought the same though, didn't we? Like, but in a lot of ways, it just didn't feel wrong, or it
No.
still doesn't feel wrong. Like
It just
not.
honestly feels so effortless and easy. Like, I just wake up with you dead happy. I actually fall asleep now. I can actually fall asleep, whereas I used to never fucking fall asleep before. So it's just, when you're lying next to someone you love, it's just easier to nod off and wake up, and I'm always happy and content. We have our little stressy days with work and stuff, but it's nice to have someone to bounce off or support you, and I just think we're a solid team.
I think that's where I value you the most. Like I think you understand why I might be feeling certain things. I think I spotted this in you when we were pals, like where I think we're both similar in the sense that we're both very good at giving advice out, but not so much at taking our own advice. And I think if I need the advice, you'll switch straight into that kind of like, I know exactly what I need to tell you to kind of, I suppose, get you back on the straight and narrow, and vice versa. Even though we would both tell each other the same things to ourselves, I think sometimes you need to hear it from the other person. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd never whisper sweet nothings. It'd always be, well, therapy taught me a lot, didn't it? Like emotional behaviours and people, so helped me a lot more. But I wouldn't just say stuff because it's what you need to hear. Sometimes it does just help, and it's probably more honest and truthful.
yeah, and I respect you for that. Like I don't want you to, sugarcoat things. I think just especially for me anyway, just because I've taken a massive leap from being full time like employed to like basically my own boss, trying to find my own work. Like I think you've obviously had to deal with my mini meltdowns, and I think I wouldn't. I just feel so secure with you, and I think obviously 4 months in, like doing all of this, A, moving in, B, obviously me starting my own business. Obviously, you're in the middle of building your business. Like, there's a lot that could potentially just completely capitulate the whole thing, but I think because we both talk, we both communicate, we both say this is what's happening. Like, I think it's just nice to have that support.
I think that's what a lot of people lack. Because if we were quote unquote in the honeymoon period, we'd have just stuck to the dating, but we're both supported and things have to happen and move forward, and we carry each other through it. Not just, oh, it's meant to be like this, and like there'll be times where we can have more fun, but we make the time for each other and we work together and focus, like we know what's important.
Do you not think there's a sentiment of, I mean, I'm 32, you're 33, like, that because we are a little bit later on in life, that there's no point in waiting around to fit into, oh, okay, after 6 months we'll start living together. Like, I think, I certainly feel like I'm trying to play catch up in some senses. Like, I want to go on holidays, I want to go and build our life together now. Like, I don't want to be waiting around. Like,
No, and I don't think we are. We're not necessarily waiting. I'll say I'll never wait for anything. I think you've noticed when I want to do something, I'll do it there and then, because either later doesn't come or procrastination sets in, and you're going to lose that time anyway. So do what you can with it. If it's not perfect, fine, just go again and build on it rather than not doing fuck all. And this relates to everything. People just wait, or they go from what other people think they should do rather than just action it and think about it later if you need to change it.
Yeah, I think that's certainly what I think what I admire about you is I'm probably more of the ideas person, and then you're more of the doer. Like, I'll go, oh, I thought about doing this. You're like, yeah, but let's go. Right, we're at B&Q already. Like, let's just get it done.
I think that's from being a kid, though. Like, I was always told later or soon or whatever, and I want to do it now. I'm not impatient in a spoilt bratty way, but it just never came later. So I think just if I want to do something, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
So
which is hard when you're in the middle of something else.
Yeah, I am. I'm not going to say ADHD brain, but I do flit around from task to task. I'll finish what I do, but I will try and do 10 things at once. Often to the detriment of myself and stressing myself out, but I will always finish it. It's like a podcast. Like, for me, are they always ideal and fitting of a time? Absolutely not, but I want to do it, get the information out there, because I know a lot of people might be in similar situations, whether they're confused sexually or they're struggling with the goals. Like, you're going to get something from this one.
Yeah, or even if it's just like, I suppose, dealing with a relationship, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what, because naturally we do try and set these podcasts up with a form of education or a form of takeaway. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what the main takeaway is for this one. I think we're just rambling.
Honestly, it's focusing on your happiness and your goals. They should align with your values, and if you don't know your values, it's worth exploring them. So, like, you know mine, it's connection. Obviously, communication's a huge one, and it links in with my coaching as well. I'll always support anyone, and I'll give anyone the time of day. And loyalty's another one, love. So if your goals align with your values, then it's going to feel easier. So happiness, obviously, it's in your own hands of what you do, but it isn't in, if we were referring it to coaching, it's not in your scale weights. It's not in the money that you earn. It's not in all the materialistic things that we all chase now. It's whatever makes you happy, and it's going to be individual for each person, but I'm glad that I've found someone that makes me happy, and I feel happy just being with you.
Oh.
So that was the message. So obviously happiness and reflection, and it's over the past few months. Like, we're going into what's going to be episode 30 next week of a podcast that I never thought I'd do. And obviously I don't think I'd have carried it on without you, so it just shows that we are a good team. And despite us being really busy, we make the time for each other to support each other.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure when you need me to do one of your tasks, I'll happily do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm forever going, look at this. Does it make sense? Like, just showing you the pretty little pictures that I've drawn that day.
I love it, and I think building, that's what I love about all-around coaching. Like, I've got you in it with the job that you do. Like, all-around coaching would not be here without you, and obviously your branding and your marketing skills. Nor would I have took another coach on if it had not built up to what it is now. And obviously we've got Rachel, who has started with me, and I think she fits in nicely with the team. Like, I'll always say, people buy people. We're not looking for someone that's just hardcore money driven. Like, I want her to take on clients like how I didn't actually give a shit about them. And she has a degree in psychology, which obviously you can understand behaviours, and that's going to be able to help people a lot more. So it's not just training plans, calories, macros, whichever. you're actually being able to help people and impact more people's lives within the health.
Yeah, would you say that obviously that connection is really important for Rachel as well, then, rather than just kind of going out for whatever she can? Because it's hard, isn't it? Like, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah, when you're first starting, it's probably finding the clients that work for you. So it might take her a good few months to find clients that fit her. But if her intention is to help them, then she will do well. And I think a lot of coaches now are just focusing on how many clients they can get in, how many people can get signed up, and then obviously just making a few grand. And that seems to be a thing at the minute. Like everyone's 10k months, but for us, it's how much impact can we do. And yes, obviously we're going to earn money with it, but it's the impacting on people's lives, and that's why we created multiple products to actually help people not gain. Like we could charge a lot more for what we're doing, but we don't, because it's the initial thing is to help people, not rinse them, and obviously leaving them in a better place than where they started.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen any kind of wins? Because you've got a broad spectrum of clients on different packages now, haven't you? Like, have you seen? Because it's got to be nice, like you said, the monetary side of things is always, but it's always a byproduct of something, isn't it? And
My money's invested back like heavily at the minute, so I'm not necessarily in huge profit margins. Like it goes back into my clients and it goes back into making the service better. But even just having the app, people are saying like I'm training again, I'm utilising it, and they're actually going to the gym. Even if it's only going once or twice, they're going more times than what they weren't before because they had absolutely no structure and no help. So that's what I'm there for. And obviously, even being on the app, I put them into the WhatsApp group support, which in itself is valuable because people get to talk to each other. They can train together if they want to, and they've got all the information on hand in there as well.
how does that make you feel though? Because you know, I feel like a bit like a mother hen. Like when all your all your little chicks are kind of going, yeah, I'm at the gym, or yeah, I'm smashing this. Like we had Joanne obviously this week where she said that, excuse me, she'd obviously fit into a dress that she'd bought a couple of years ago, and this is the first time she's got into it, which, you know, I think that's amazing. Like I can't imagine how much that sense of achievement that she's worked hard to get to that goal, even as simple as it is as just putting a dress on. Like how that must make you feel mega, like having people like that around you that, you know, you can help and support.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling because it is like, even though I've done it for 4 years and it's been hundreds of clients, like it still feels new and it still feels exciting when someone achieves something like that. And obviously, in a sense, like she has says, without me, she wouldn't have done it, which I kind of believe that. Like her lifestyle, her habits, and obviously her physique's been a byproduct of change and all that. So she's absolutely smashing it, and she's on the hybrid one. And that's me not hand holding her all the way through the coaching journey, but she's actually actioning what I'm setting and what I'm doing for her, but also learning as well. And she has learnt a lot in regards to obviously lifestyle and actually changing things, and I know that's going to stay in place because it's been taught. It's not been handheld and walked through.
Do you think that clients like that where they've I think I suppose relating back to what we were talking around when we first started recording was, I guess from our point of view, a lot of it was timing, wasn't it? We were both ready to, I suppose, have that relationship, or both in a place for where we'd worked on ourselves to then actually give more of ourselves to each other. Whereas perhaps someone like Joanne, as an example, like she's obviously at a point where she's ready to dedicate time to herself. Like she's obviously got family and a lot of other stuff going on, but and I certainly was the same when I started with you. I was like, I'm ready to focus on my body. I'm ready to focus on being the best version I can be of myself.
Yeah, be ready for that change, but obviously don't wait for that quote unquote perfect time to be ready because that perfect time might not come. So if you know that you need to make a change, then just fucking jump. And it's probably the same with you going to work for yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you need a bit of that shove, don't you? You need that. I certainly needed it, but I think it was a time. A lot of it for me, anyway, was a timing thing. Like I knew, yes, it's shit scary, but and same with you when I first engaged with you, like absolutely shit myself. Like when I was in that first consultation, because I was like, what the fuck am I letting myself in for? But I knew I knew it was an exciting point, like stepping out of your comfort zone, isn't it? I think it's the same thing with obviously me and you getting together. Like that was so far out of my fucking comfort zone. You wouldn't believe, like, just because I'd not been in a relationship for so long, and I felt like I was not damaged goods to say, but like just not quite being sure am I ready for a relationship. I always thought that I was going to be on my own. Like, but then sometimes you just got to jump into it and just I suppose, get out of your comfort zone and just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Happiness is happiness. But obviously we can't just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for something that might never come or materialise or build.
We had another, obviously, you've had another client this week, which is obviously one of my best pals, like, and it's interesting because obviously she's with you on 42 Elite, isn't she?
Yeah.
And I'm mad proud of her. And she's, as long as I've known her, she's never been in the gym. She's always been, I suppose, exercise averse. She's done Pilates, she's done yoga, she's tried quite a few things, to be fair. But I think she said this week that she's so glad that she's in the gym. She's feeling mega, she's feeling amazing, and she's wished she'd done it sooner. And I guess it comes down to that, I suppose, not really wanting to step out of your side of your comfort zone because you have this perception that, I suppose, the gym is this pain zone, where you're just gonna have to fucking throttle your body through it, and then you might get through the other side. Like,
Yeah, it's not just associating exercise with either the aesthetic or just going to lose weight. Because I think that notion where people say you don't need to go to the gym because you're already slim, like, people aren't necessarily going just to be a smaller version of themselves. They're going to better themselves, look after the health. And from that, it probably opens up new goals for them, what they want to achieve, whether it's fitness, performance, strength, bodybuilding, whichever. So it's removing that. Obviously, she's took a big change from wanting to improve her health, and she's actually enjoying it. So, I mean, obviously, if you don't enjoy exercise, nutrition, and looking after your health, you're going to have a shitty life later on in life.
yeah, I guess it just means, like, I'm trying to tie it back into, like, obviously what we're talking about in general, and if it's that sense of uncomfortableness, isn't it? And sense of, if I don't go for it, then I might not know. It might be the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, a lot of things are fucking uncomfortable and scary. It was like me taking or doing the mentorship. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
that was a
believe me, like,
huge.
to really talk you off that ledge.
That
Like,
was a huge investment, and I thought it wasn't me thinking, is it worth it? But it was a big risk to take, and yes, it's paid off. And obviously, if clients invest in me, I have to invest back. I can't just say I'm going to take your money. Like, I want to improve my knowledge, my education, and make sure I'm giving the best service. So we all take big steps, and sometimes they are scary, and they're always going to be shits and giggles. Like, you actually want to move forward in life, or I do anyway. I don't want to be stagnant.
yeah, and I think when it obviously came to me and you kind of getting together, I think there was a couple of conversations that we'd had where, like, is this right? Do we want to do this? Like, or it certainly was more for me because obviously there was someone else kind of like there that I'd been dating, and it was like,
Yeah, it was just me. I think for me, I'm not the most open person at times. I'd have to really, really know someone, but I think I was sat there saying to you that it'd be stupid not to go for it. And obviously, I did say I was in love with you. That probably swung you a little bit. But why would you waste maybe 6 months on something that may have not, and obviously it wouldn't have been right for you. So that was my thought process in that.
yeah, and I think you've shown me that, like, from obviously coaching through to, I suppose, just being a general person and relationship, and now obviously into, like, business. Like, I think that I admire you for that. A, that tenacity, and B, just that not being afraid to just do something that makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. You don't. I mean, you certainly give me that fire up in my belly that I feel like I need to kind of just keep going and do something that probably shit scares me. Like, I didn't think the minute that I'd obviously handed my notice in at the place that I work at the moment. Like, it was Friday the 13th. Like, I went to pay for a fucking train ticket, didn't have any money in the bank, and I was like, what the fuck have I done?
Oh.
But I think I don't regret it. Like, I think it's always been that kind of shit, like, what happens if, but I think your mindset is always, well, what happens if it doesn't?
What happens if it goes absolutely amazing?
Yeah.
What happens if you succeed? Some people fear success though, like they won't move forward in case they do succeed, so they just stay where they are. The fear of, like, the unknown, staying comfortable, we'll say, and sometimes nothing comes from being comfortable.
Yeah, I always thought that I quite like being out of my comfort zone. I genuinely do, but I think sometimes I just need that shove out of that fucking little safe space.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, and I mean, you did that anyway with coaching, like, well before. I think we've gone through different evolutionary stages of a relationship where it's been client to coach, and
Well, it's 1 year tomorrow that All Round Coaching was officially
started.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is exciting.
it is. It's mad.
I was absolutely cacking my pants when when we met at the Lean Kitchen in Penn. that right? And I think because you at the time, I think because you've got naturally got this kind of like I suppose way around you. I was like, I almost felt like I was blacking my way through it, and I was absolutely shitting myself. Just because I think it was a point where I'd started to kind of do a lot more brand stuff where I knew what I was doing, but I think just doing it on my own and doing it properly. And you were my guinea pig in a lot of ways.
All right.
I fake it till you make it. So yeah, I was absolutely cacking my pants, but it was just nice knowing that obviously I worked on the brand because I wanted to work on it for you and help and support you.
You've helped, like, massively helped of where it is now. Like, it would have literally just been a logo and a little bit of smoke, and that was it, really. I don't think even if I'd have done the additional products, I don't think I'd have had the branding and marketing behind it to do it. And the website, I'd have been absolutely lost on that. You've helped me build it up from the ground, and I am grateful for that.
You're welcome.
So, takeaways for today: focus on your happiness. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. And just having the right support team behind you and invested in yourself, and not waiting for that perfect time, because it won't come, and sometimes you just have to shoot your shot.
I think I think I certainly, just to add on to that, just find what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like, whatever that is, that I think we certainly don't want to say, like, obviously after having listened to this podcast, like, that's in a relationship, because I think neither of us felt that way before we got together.
No, we never need someone, it's more of a want, and obviously I just wanted that connection and I found it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been through different phases of trying to find what makes us happy. And it isn't, obviously before us, it wasn't a relationship, was it? But I think it's fine. Work on yourself before you can eventually get into a relationship is what I would kind of say. Advice-wise.
Yeah, how you show up in a relationship matters massively.
Yeah.
So what self are you bringing? Obviously, if the relationships are failing at the same level each time, then maybe it's you that's the problem. So yeah, take that away with you. We will be back next week, obviously with a couple of guests on, Nathan and Kirk.
I don't think we'll be recording in the bedroom.
I don't know, how many gays could we fit in one room? But no, we'll be back next week. If anyone has enjoyed this, give it a like, give it a share, subscribe, and send it to your friends. When people do listen, obviously it does help, and we are happy to take any recommendations of what you want to hear, or if you have got any questions that you need answered, just drop us a message.
See you later.